Here's integrated 3. It's 5-71A, and it's talking about Amanda's function machine. Amanda wants to showcase her favorite function, e of x equals 1 plus square root x plus 5. She has built a function machine for her favorite function. Her brother Eric is always trying to mess up Amanda's stuff, so he has created the inverse of e of x, named e inverse x, and programmed it into a second machine. Well, letter A is the only one I'm going to do right now, and it says, what is the domain of Amanda's function machine? So domain is all the x values. They didn't ask us about range, but range would be all the y values. So I think the easiest way to talk about domain is if we could just look at the graph. Sometimes it's a hassle to look at the graph, and you might just want to look at the equation instead. But we learned all our graphs at the beginning of the school year. We made these papers with all the parent functions, and I hope that you guys all still have yours. I recognize this. This looks like this. Y equals square root of x minus h. Oh, I wrote h. I meant, well, it's a 5. I'll make it into a 5. X minus h plus k. So we know h and k can move our functions around. And this parent function is right here. It's a square root function. So I know the square root function that kind of has a certain shape. I don't have to, do I even have to sketch it? It didn't even ask me to. So since I don't have to make a complete sketch of it, I'm just going to make a really messy sketch. And the reason I'm doing that is because it makes it easy for me to see what the domain is. So I know that the parent function starts at the origin, and it kind of just goes off to the right. It rises. It's an increasing function. This one has, let's see, it's going to be moved off to the left because x minus h. Move off to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up by 1. So this little locator point here that's at the origin, on this function, the locator point is going to be right here. It's going to be the same as this point, except for it's going to be moved left by 5 and up by 1. So that's what I've written right here. And then I'm just going to kind of fake it, just make a little sketch that looks, kind of resembles the parent function. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's a nice, fast, easy way to look at the domain. So the domain is all the x values. So now I just look at the x-axis, and I say, how far left and right does this graph go? There's no arrow here. So there's no, the graph does not extend anywhere off to the left of -5. This is -5. The x values of the graph go forever and ever off to the right. So I'm just going to say something about that. I'm going to say x is greater than or equal to, it can equal -5. I think that I think is the domain.